Joining us now on the mic, we have Yo. How are you today, Yo?
I'm fine. How are you, apart from cold?
Who's got the cold?
No, I feel cold as opposed to I'm suffering from the
Yeah,
illness.
our radiators aren't on, are they? But,
yeah, it'll give us a strong constitution.
Gives you an edge. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you played for us a couple of songs so far. The first of which was Wild Rover, which I alluded to the fact that it's a traditional song called Wild Rover, but yours isn't that. You've just taken the name.
I've taken the name and 2 lines from it.
Okay.
I slipped it in there.
And we were chatting off air before we were on air about traditional form, and what is it that draws you to traditional form then in the 21st century?
Well, it's funny because a lot of people think of the folk tradition as something ancient, but if you actually think about it in the light of just the methods which were used, it's very contemporary, very modern and very current. The idea of lifting things, of stealing things, essentially, from other previous songs, other bits and pieces from books and things you've read, is something which is much more kind of in line with current practices of postmodernism and sampling and things like that, which is all about accepting that having something original is essentially a fallacy, and it's all about kind of everything has meaning because it's repeatable, it's iterable, and all that kind of stuff. And that sounds really kind of horribly academic, but but I just think it's fun to just get the bits. It's like what Grandmaster Flash used to say. What he used to do when he started doing MCing was he listened to all these different songs, and there'd be bits in it where he thinks everything's building up towards, and everyone would be going crazy on the dance floor. So what he thought he'd do is get all these bits and pieces of the bits he loved best and stick them all together into one thing. And I think folk kind of encourages that. It's because it's about taking the bits of culture you like and assembling it into something which has some power for you.
Yeah. Well, I was saying to you that we were very, very fortunate a few years back now to have Peggy Seeger, the younger sister of Pete Seeger, who was obviously a precursor to Dylan, etc., and a mate of Woody Guthrie's. And I was saying that on the show, she appropriates parts of melodies, and she said apparently up to 7 notes of a melody, and it's within the legal confines. Anything beyond 7 notes, and you can actually then be sued. And your ears pricked up at that point. You you seem as if you're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, but in which case Bob Dylan must be in trouble because he literally steals songs wholesale. Like do you ever listen to Jerome Kern? It's like this old kind of songwriter.
I can't say I have.
Well, I'm sure you've heard some of his songs because Sinatra used to do them. But one of his songs, this is just one of many songs Bob has stolen, but in a good way, from other people. The last song of Love and Theft is called Sugar Baby, and the chorus is actually from Lonesome Road by Jerome Kern, and you should check that out on YouTube or something. You get like Frank Sinatra singing it, and it's not only the chorus, but the words of the chorus and a lot of the imagery within the song. But by kind of expanding upon it, he's done something very Dylan, and he's been doing that throughout his whole career. And I think a lot of people do that without knowing it anyway. So to kind of reference something consciously, I think is just as honest, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Now, your track Wild Rover, that is actually going to shortly be available on a cassette form.
Yeah. Well, we have been releasing CDs on Pointy Records, in the UK. But then we got into a conversation with this lovely guy called Alessandro on an Italian kind of collector's label. It's a tape label, and they said, yeah, we'll put out whatever you've got going. So we gave him a bunch of songs which were just lying around, and as kind of an interim release before we finished the next CD thing. And we're quite excited by it, really.
So if people still have a prehistoric tape recorder in their house, and they are desperate to get hold of this, I suppose the best thing to do would point them to your website. Would that be right?
Yeah, it's www.yozushi.net. That's YOZUSHI. I do not sell raw fish on revolving mechanisms.
Right.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. I'm out of that credit crunch.
Okay, and if anyone does want to link to any of the artists we have live here on the show, then you could also just visit dexterbentley.com, and all the appropriate links are there on the Hello Goodbye page. So Yo, you are going to play for us one more track as well before the end of the show, so please do stick around.
Thanks.
Thanks ever so much for joining us, and I suggest that you do visit yozushi.net, that's Zushi with a Z, and keep up to date with all of Yo's movements, as I also know that he's making a film at the moment. So,
about singing milkmen.
Singing milkmen. It's not Benny Hill related at all, is it?
No, I wish it was now. I could have asked him.
Do you know that song of Benny Hill's?
No, but I think someone else has talked to me about this. I thought it was an entirely original idea by my friend Mikey. Ernie.
Ernie, the fastest milkman in the West.
We actually have a character called the fastest milkman in the East.
Oh.
Which is, I'm a bit worried now.
Well, it's just carrying on with your plagiarism idea.
Yeah, that's it.
So there we go.
Plagiarism.
Nothing's original.